how, when you decided to become a model classroom teacher, what kind of drove that, and what has your experience been? Can you talk a little about that?
I did volunteer to do this year, and the reason why was because this was what I considered my weakest area, kind of what I alluded to before. I didn't know how to teach the specific pieces, and I didn't want to be coached to my strength. I wanted to be coached to what I felt I needed to work on, and I really do feel like a better language arts teacher now because of it. Before, if you'd have asked me, I would have said I would like to be a math teacher. I would like to teach 4th grade math and math and sciences because that was my strength. And I just thought of this the other week. I was thinking, I don't like teaching reading.
Okay, one of my goals for Writers Workshop this year was to not be so concerned about where the kids are in the writing process and have it just be a continuous model. And in the past years that I've been teaching, I like the students to all be working on the same thing at the same time. And when I read my goal from the beginning of the year, that's what I was focusing on, and I really feel that I've moved past that, and I have kids all over the place, and we kind of check in with each other to see where we are in the process and what piece we're working on, and I just feel like I've come a long way internally being able to do that without feeling stressed or controlling, and so it's been really good.
Nice. I'm going to put you on the spot a little. How did that happen?
I think just teaching them the writing process and then modeling, and then they were just able to do it on their own, and now there's not a lot of modeling happening at the end of the year, and they're really good about
taking it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about you, Amy? What's been something successful for you?
Well, looking back on my goal setting sheet from the beginning of the year, I really had talked about wanting my kids to have a meaty portfolio. That's the word that I actually used by the end of the year, because I felt like last year at the end of the year I was sending some kids home with like 3 pieces in their portfolio, and it was a big binder, and it just felt a little silly. But looking at our portfolios now, they're full. They're full of all different kinds of pieces, some even rough drafts, different things from the writing process, and I think that this year I'm just going to feel really good about sending them home, and they'll be proud of them because they've kind of been a part of the process. Like, they actually are the ones putting their things into the portfolio, and so I feel like maybe every month or two, like, they're putting stuff in and going and kind of paging back and seeing what they've done. And
so there's some real student ownership with what's happening here, with their writing.
From last year. Yeah,
it's not all this teacher directed, but they're learning how to take it on.
Yep.
Nice. All right. Thank you.
So I think Language Workshop was just such a rich time to show that my kids were real readers and real writers.
And what about your experience just as a model classroom teacher? Just the structure of this model, this framework.
It was a lot of work, but very valued work. It made me focus. It made me make some changes that made me a better teacher, especially when I saw the results of the kids learning differently and responding differently, using their thoughtful logs and coming to that shared time. Having that structure, the workshop structure, which I had used in the past, but sometimes I would, we didn't have time for sharing. I made myself do that this time because I knew how important it was. Not that I didn't know it was important last time, but I really then saw the value in it, and that was really important. But it was a lot of time planning, preparing, making sure I was, following it correctly, especially knowing that, my peers were going to come in and watch me, and
How'd that go?
That was anxiety, just like that quote you had up there. That's what I thought of as the anxiety, but that anxiety pushed me to work harder, to prepare more, to think deeper myself and reflect differently myself. And I think I am better for this experience. And